everyone. Hold on. Okay, so how do I sound now? Can you hear me? So we're at it. Hello, Steve Richter. We're at it again. Oh my God, thank you so much, Rob. This is so sweet. You keep doing this, and I need the money, so I will never complain. And all I can say is thank you a lot. Right now, though, I have a little small problem in that apparently it takes a few months for you to get the money from Google, but I will need it in a few months too. Like apparently it takes 90 days after you start monetizing. It's really horrible that they do this. But Substack, on the other hand, they immediately let you, like you get to choose when you paid. So for anyone right now, please go to historically.substack.com/subscribe. And if you can afford it, become a patron saint of the pod. And sorry, I've been not doing many impromptu streams lately, but I've been visiting my nieces and they're little and they're running all over, and you'll be hearing things like, my little pony, my little pony. Hello, math casualty. Thank you for joining us. So now they are, one of them is in school, one of them is in daycare, and the other one is asleep. So the house is all nice and quiet while I was at my niece's, so I can actually stream. Just as I said, anytime the US withdraws or even hints of a withdrawal from any kind of military engagement, what you get is a lot of concern trolling. At the faintest whiff of the talk about US troops withdrawing from anywhere, the media begins its propaganda blitz. And of course, as we know, it always follows the same tradition. MSNBC had multiple guests on who just outright lied and whitewashed history. But we also, when Trump was talking about pulling out of Syria, we saw the propaganda blitz. What about the Kurds? So they run atrocity propaganda about all kinds of oppressions that these groups would face if the US just went away, because apparently the implication is that the US actually stops it and the US is not committing these atrocities. And we know both of it is false. So the exciting thing is that yesterday I interviewed Sankar from Afghan Eye. So we went into a lot of detail about all the characters and actors in Afghanistan and who they were and so on. So that was excellent. It's going to come out in a few weeks, so I'm excited about that. In the meanwhile, I don't even know where to begin. So maybe we should just begin with the New York Times and their new propaganda blitz essay. So let's just start. By the way, invite your friends, your family, your enemies to this stream so that they can also not fall for the propaganda blitz. So without further ado, we shall get started. One caveat is that if my niece wakes up, I'll just have to go whoosh and leave, but that's okay. That is c'est la vie. Okay. So let's start with the New York Times. Biden's lack of strategic patience led to disaster. I'm trying to figure out what the best layout is. I hope you can see it. Okay. A nice photo. By Ryan C. Crocker. Mr. Crocker served as an ambassador to Afghanistan under President Obama. Okay. As Americans, we have many strengths, but strategic patience is not among them. What is strategic patience? This sounds like it is utter nonsense. I mean, seriously, what exactly is strategic patience? It's like words they just make up. Yeah, so let me see if I can play with the HTML like I always do. That part's always fun. No, it's not allowing me. Darn it. Okay. What did I do something wrong? Damn it. Okay. So let me just refresh so that we don't have the bad HTML. Okay, darn it. Okay. We have to summon, okay, sorry. We have been able to summon it at critical times, such as Revolutionary War and during the 100-Year War and the War of Roses. Yeah, if you have to go to the Revolutionary War, it seems kind of weird. Okay. And World War II, like, what did you do in World War II besides help Nazis escape? I'm sorry, but you don't get credit for that. Where Congress, for example, did not threaten to defund the war effort if it wasn't, well, that's because there was the Soviets and they were, okay. Can somebody just like show me what the tag to do is so that I can learn how to do it next time? Because it's always fun to, I always like play with the HTML because I did it sometimes with like with the Human Rights Watch article, and it was kind of funny. So I said I changed democracies to white people. Okay. In Korea, nearly 7 decades after an inconclusive truce, an inconclusive truce in Korea after 7 decades, even though the Korean government has repeatedly told you to go away and you won't. And also, let's not forget the whole history about how they installed Singmanri, blah, blah, blah. Which we have done an interview with a rapper Jeonju. So just like check out that interview, which is somewhere in the YouTube. So we discuss this in detail. But our patience is not the norm. It certainly has not been on display in Afghanistan as the world watched the Taliban storm Kabul. As the enormity of the events in Afghanistan this past week sinks in, the question starts, how did this happen? How could we have not foreseen it? Why didn't the Afghan forces put up a fight? Okay. Okay. Can you just do the copy and paste so I know which tags to do for next time? Yeah, why did they not foresee it? I mean, seriously. Seriously, this is like, okay, either who was the vice president? General Dostum. He was a total monster, a sex addict, and an alcoholic who was a warlord who was sadistic. They found mass graves. Why didn't we do something about the corruption? Yes, why didn't you? Since you were the ambassador for Obama, tell me. Like, yeah, why didn't you? The list goes on. There's one overarching answer: our lack of strategic patience at critical moments, including from President Biden. It has damaged our alliances. Okay, so who did the U.S. ally with? There's General Dostum, who's a cruel, sadistic warlord. There's Hamid Karzai, who aligned with a lot of warlords. There's Gul Aga Sherzai, another warlord. Then there's the Tajik warlords, what's his name? Ahmad Zia Massoud, which is Ahmad Shah Massoud's son. I mean, not son, sorry, brother. His son apparently is also writing Washington Post editorials. So I would say damaging U.S. alliances is a good thing. Embolden our adversaries. How? Who are these imaginary? Okay, the thing about adversaries, and increased the risk to our own security. No, there's nothing that really threatens U.S. national security. It has also flouted 20 years of work and sacrifice. Oh my God. Imagine if the Taliban oh boy, what did I do? Imagine if the Taliban in 2001 had actually agreed to turn in Osama bin Laden, which they did. And I've tweeted out about this many, many, many times. So there was no reason to have 20 years of work because they literally, all the Bush had to do was provide evidence and give a third neutral country. Like he could have said Switzerland, which is apparently the neutral country, or The Hague, and the Taliban would have just given Osama bin Laden up. So this 20 years of work was not for whatever. United States objective in Afghanistan has always been clear: to ensure that Afghan soil is never again used to plan attacks against the American homeland. And this could have been achieved on September 15th of 2001 when the Taliban agreed to hand over bin Laden. That was easy. It was not about nation building as an end itself, or building a new democracy, or even regime. Of course, it was about regime change. The message that from the Bush administration has been to the Taliban after made this clear: if you hand over Osama bin Laden, and interestingly enough, Bush rejected this. Oh, by the way, here's another interesting thing. Okay, let's see if I can do this. Okay. Give me 1 second. Sorry. During the live shows, I do take a little second to be okay, let's try this. So let's see. Even before Bush, let's look at 1998 from our friends at The Guardian. Taliban agreed to hand over bin Laden in 1998. In an interview with Jeddah-based Arab News, the Saudi-owned MBC television, Prince Turki described 2 secret visits he made to Kandahar, the first in June 1998. Crown Prince Fahd and Crown Prince Abdullah sent me to meet Mullah Omar to persuade him to hand over bin Laden to the kingdom. Mullah Omar asked me to inform the king and the crown prince that he wanted to set up a joint committee to arrange the procedure for handover. Это очень интересно is what people in Russia would say to this. Okay, so that's the first time. Now, the second time, again, a few weeks after 9/11, the Taliban absolutely agreed to hand over bin Laden. It was in the Guardian article. I made a TikTok about it. Oh, I found it. Okay, let's look at the second time that the Taliban agreed to hand over bin Laden. Can you guys see this? That is a question that one needs to ask. Okay, look at this. Bush rejects Taliban offer to hand over bin Laden. This is the second offer they made. Taliban say they want to negotiate with the US over bin Laden. The Afghanistan's ruling Taliban said tonight that they were ready to negotiate with Washington about turning over bin Laden to a third country, apparently in an effort to avert military attack by the United States. Afghanistan's ambassador to Pakistan, Abdul Salim Zaif, repeated I hope you guys can see this. What did he repeat? Repeated the Taliban's longstanding position that Mr. bin Laden would not be turned over without proof that he was involved in the terrorist attacks. But in an incremental steps, he added what sounded like a desperate appeal for negotiation. So if that was true, like there needed to be no war. Okay, so mass casualty, I'm so gonna forget. I'm gonna mark this so that I don't forget this question, because there are some interesting things like that have to do with Afghanistan's previous vice president, Amrullah Saleh, and what he was doing right before 9/11 and the CIA thing. So if there is a way after I finish this article to remind me about this question once more, that would be awesome. So there's a lot of, and then we should also talk about who benefited. By the way, please share. There are only 11 people on this stream. And I know I did not really, it was an impromptu stream and all that, but just please share. And my friend, like my Croatian friend is not here, which is sad, because I always say it is, nowadays I've been always telling her about what time the broadcasts are on Zagreb time. So, okay. So let's continue, but just remind me a little later after we're done with this article. And please tweet this out and tell everyone to join. Share it with your Discord servers and all that stuff. Yeah, like I said, yesterday I had a really good interview with Sankar from Afghan Eye. He is very astute and good. Let's see. let's see if this works. I just want to try something different. Give me 1 second. Okay, where did it go? Okay, let's see if this works. What did I do with the article? Okay, I just have to search for the article again. Found it. Okay. Oh my God. Okay, this is funny. I'm glad I searched for this article again because apparently it was originally printed. What's going on? In in the Carnegie Institute. So just Google it and I'll send you the link later. For some others, I'm getting my copies and paste confused or something like that. Where were we? Okay. The Taliban did not choose to fight. They surrendered many times. In fact, they surrendered without preconditions. All they had to do was not. Hello, thank you. This is. I'm probably pronouncing his name wrong, but this is my friend from China, Zhu. He's really cool, and he tells me a lot of really interesting tidbits. Like he was warning me about the potential food shortage that's going to come. Yep. Excellent. Yeah. Sankar's good. But once the Taliban were defeated, our fundamental mission of ensuring Afghanistan was never again, because the base for an attack and then did not change, except I have spoken to Abby Martin's brother, about a 9/11 episode. And so I'm not very 100% sure on the details, but I'm pretty sure that it was planned in Hamburg, Germany, but I could be wrong. But the means to that end became more complex. Like what? Like what's this? This is total nonsense. And the development of those means require patience. Okay, what's going on? A child. Okay, why is there a child walking amongst destroyed tanks? Maybe I don't know. And why does the child not have shoes? Is it because the child is too poor to afford shoes? When I arrived under Bush, Bagram Air Base in January of 2002 to take charge of. Wait, I thought he was under Obama. Wait, what's going on? Yes, he was. Okay, excellent. To take charge of our reopened embassy, Afghanistan had nothing. It still has nothing. Essentially, no government. Correct. The reason why it did not have a government is because. Thank you. I've been practicing. Because the U.S. under both Brzezinski and Ronald Reagan armed a whole bunch of psychotic mujahideen who destroyed the government. No, institutions. Yes, it's hard when you give them every single weapon known to man so they can bomb everything. No army. That's because they had a whole bunch. No, actually they had armies. They just did not have a central army who had a monopoly on force. That's a big difference. No army versus no centralized army that had a monopoly on force. Okay. No police. No centralized police that had a monopoly on force. Okay. Just a yawning vacuum. Okay. I don't know what this, look up yawning. Let's see. An opening or space, a very large and wide. And vacuums in the Middle East tend to be filled by actors who do not wish us well. Well, that depends on whether or not you are funding the actor and who is this us, and does anyone wish you well? Because since you have been like funding psychos for the past 40 years. Okay. Hamid Karzai had arrived in Kabul just a few days before me as chairman of the Afghanistan Interim Authority. He and I spent a lot of time together in those initial weeks. He never seemed discouraged by the enormity of the tasks in front of him. He did not hesitate to make decisions, many good, some not so good. Okay, whatever. He had a vision of a stable, secure Afghanistan that threatened no one. And that's why his cabinet was filled with warlords. Stability is the reason why Hamid Karzai had warlords in his cabinet. Okay. Okay, whatever. So we did, at least initially, helping Afghans create a stable and open society could also be the best way to further our own national security objectives. There is no, like, you did not have a national security objective, because if you did, the best way would have been to get bin Laden and Al Qaeda, who have, like, that were amongst all the warlords in Afghanistan. They have the Taliban just like turn them in, and that would have been the best way. But of course, that was not your national. Oh, I mean, I don't even know what national security means, because nothing really threatens U.S. national security. Unfortunately, for a lot of liberals, they kind of do this drill thing where, for example, when China says this is a threat to our national security, the biggest threat to China's national security is the United States of America. So they're actually telling the truth there. Look at what happened to Afghanistan from the 1970s to this. If you let the US run its course, that is exactly what will happen. So when other countries say something is a threat to their national security, they are 100% telling you the truth. And the number one threat to their national security is usually the US and somebody that the US armed, funded, and trained or whatever. So a lot of people are like, there's no difference between Bush and Xi. And I see that meme and I'm like, no. Xi's telling the truth when he says that this is a threat to our national security. Bush is making up a lie. So apparently, let's okay. We had visited a girls' school. What school? Let's look at some statistics that I compiled. Let's see. Yeah. Let's look at some statistics. That what girls' school are we talking about? I mean, okay, let's look at, this is the province where Obama had his surge. It's called Helmand province. And let's check what this alleged girls' school was in Helmand province, because it makes no sense to have for, okay, let's see. Yes, I'm not making this up. Correct. Only 1% of the women can read here. So what is this alleged girls' school that they're talking about that does not exist actually? It's like you are, and in other provinces, it's also equally bad. Okay, so he visited a girls' school, and did the girls' school actually exist? Did they have teachers? Because I mean, there's a lot of questions. Okay, let's see. Where are we now? He understood the importance of society. No, he did a societal change, and he understood that it takes time and requires patience. No, he did not, because if he understood the need for societal change, then Human Rights Watch would not ask Hamid. Oh, like I remember seeing an Economist article saying that. Oh, uh, okay, and let's look at this democracy article from Democracy Killing in Darkness. Do you see this? Karzai powerless as warlords battle. So this does not look like societal change at all. This looks like, I have no idea what it looks like, but not societal change. Okay. Where there were some 900,000 children. Okay, so let's see. While the statistics in Afghanistan have never been reliable. Okay. Yes. I mean, yeah, that's like literally the biggest understatement. Where are we now? Yeah, it's like the biggest understatement ever. Let's see if this works again. Okay, I'm just checking. Sorry if I'm getting too in the weeds. Just let's see if this works. Nope. Why is it not working? Damn it. Okay, that won't work. Aha, damn it. Okay, I give up now. Where are we? Reliable. Okay. When I left the ambassador a decade after that first school visit, the number of students was nearly 8 million. Let me explain how this statistics is totally wrong, because I actually did some research on this. Let's see. Yeah, I actually, this was total nonsense, and I believe this was even exposed by some U.S. government agency. So what the statistics that they were talking about is enrollment, and enrollment is basically where. Okay, let's see. Yeah, found it. Okay, this is good. Okay, so let me show you what they're talking about. only 43% of the children and youth under the age of 24 actively attend schools. The gross enrollment across this group is estimated at 95%. This means that at least half the children and youth who are enrolled in a school sorry, let me try this again. Okay, now can you see it? Okay. Only 43% of the children and youth under the age of 24 actively attend schools. The gross enrollment of this group is estimated at 95%. At least, okay, this means that half the children and youth who are enrolled in a school do not attend it. So enrollment is filling out a piece of paper that says, I want my kid to be going to some school. Attendance is way harder. Attendance involves having children actually go to school. And for many people, there are no roads. And if the parents are working for a warlord for like 14 hours a day, they can't go drop the kid at school. And if there are no roads, lots of things. If you can't afford tampons, periods actually stop kids from going to school. Warlords who shoot up kids also stop it. Having police officers who gang rape kids and is also things that like thousands of things. Sometimes, and let me show you one more statistics about this nonsense. Where is it? Let's see if I can find it. Schools without, you know what, like an alarming number of schools did not have buildings. And you're like, how do you have a school without buildings? Because that means there is no, found it. Okay, see this? Schools without, okay, total schools allegedly is at somewhere between 17 and 18, like about 17,000 from what? Schools without buildings, 6,000. Schools with inadequate building. So I will have to do this again so that you can see, like, if you add up all like these schools with like the Venn diagram, you'll see that most of these schools are just money laundering schemes for whoever the developer is. Hi, Perisevich, if it's a Slavic name, or Pierre, if that's it. Okay. So, yeah, this is utter, okay, so let's continue with this bad propaganda. Let's see. Okay. God, this is why I hate Obama people so much. They're just awful. Where was... Oh, we're still talking about okay. Afghans on their own launched their private initiatives in education, especially for girls. Private initiatives is code word for money laundering schemes. And no, there was no, these private initiatives did not work because if you go province by province, the illiteracy rate is alarmingly high. Clearly, there were also problems. Chief of them, among them, corruption. Yeah, I mean, yes. let me see if I can show you this video where this guy, they interview this baker, and the baker is like, "Oh yeah, I get." By the way, corruption is the wrong word. They mean extortion. So corruption is when something is not legal, and they get bribes to make it legal. But when you are the law and you set up checkpoints in highways, that is not corruption. That is just extortion there, because they are the law. Okay. Vast resources are poured into a country without established institutions, rule of law, and corruption is likely to be a significant byproduct. No, it is not a byproduct. It is the main product. As in, it is literally the main product, because you put these warlords in charge and they make the law. And it wasn't, like I said, it was not corruption. It was literally extortion. Farmers were forced to give the government bounty, not bounty, what do you call it? Fealty. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, farmers were literally required to give government. I found the statistic. Okay, so let's see if I can. Okay, so now let's just. I did compile the statistics about buildings with schools. So let's look at this. See this? Nearly 6,000 schools in 2014 did not have buildings. Yes, that is a puppy you hear. It is, let me see if I can bring her over. Luna, my sister got a new puppy. Hi, Indie News Left. Corruption is a feature, not a bug. Corruption is an understatement. Okay, so let's okay. Okay, the next paragraph is such a joke that I have to okay, let me see if I can meme it, because it's such a joke. Okay, sorry if I'm but this paragraph is such a joke that I have to meme it. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, so let's see what we got. This is not to excuse corrupt official. It is to recognize the ubiquity of the problem and our own role in it. A look at our own history is instructive. Corruption was endemic in New York, Boston, and Chicago through much of the 19th, 20th, and 21st century. It took us time to grow the institutions and legal structures that would eventually make corruption the exception and not the norm. Remember, Obama had Citibank vet his private cabinet. this is only the most unserious person would say something this dumb. Like literally, he had Citibank vet his cabinet, and then there was like I believe he had some like soap opera producer be the U.S. ambassador to Hungary. So it is like literally the it is literally the what are you like seriously, this is like the worst kind of like Obama people. I know, like that's the thing I hate about Obama people is at least the Trump people are like, oh, we're invading Venezuela to steal its uh uh, uh, uh steal its oil, but the Obama people are like, oh, we're actually handling corruption, which is utter nonsense. Yeah, you hear a dog. That's Luna. I'll see if I can get it over here. Hold on 1 second. I just need to take a 30-second break to close the door. So I'll be back in 30 seconds. Hi. Okay, sorry, I'm back. So I closed the door so that the dog, you won't hear the dog. Exactly. Hold on. Let me just read what Zeus is. Most of them are from WMMR jokes. I can't even tell the last time when they never tell the truth because they always do it from their perspective, which is the bourgeoisie perspective. Thank you, John. And please tell people to become paid subscribers. I really need the money right now because Google's kind of held it hostage. So please go to historically.substack.com, become subscribers, and I'll put up the Venmo and PayPal QR codes later. Okay. In China, yeah, you deal with corruptions, but not warlords who are the law. There's a difference between being the law and having people who flout the law. So if you're a warlord whose authority, I mean, everyone's authority comes from the barrel of a gun, as Mao says. But the thing is that from the barrel of a gun, Mao was able to consolidate power. Well, not Mao himself, but the PLA. And then they were able to set up a functioning government that had a rule of law, as in making sure that nobody was above the law. In fact, in I believe 1983, they actually arrested Mao's wife for being Mao's ex-wife or first wife or something like that for being a Gang of Four. So not even Mao's wife, Mao Zedong is like very admired in China, but not even his wife was exempt from the law. Okay, so please, yeah. There is no comparison because with the U.S. puppet state, there was no educational system. What we had was warlords who were trying to get money, and that's about it. There was no education system. Okay. So let us continue with remind me at the end of this article. So, because people's main critique of me is that I jump too much. Hold on. Okay, so let's continue. His wife, not ex-wife. Yes, that's what I meant. I couldn't remember if it was his wife or ex-wife, but yeah. And I don't exactly understand the whole Gang of Four thing, but but whatever. I'm gonna have to interview you one day to help me understand what happened with the whole Gang of Four and what they were trying to do and all this stuff. Okay, so and that returns me again to the central theme: time and patience. As our own history attests, societal change is slow. Not really. I can give you examples of societal change being super fast. 1917, Russia, boom. China, the Sandinistas, Bolivia, Venezuela. This is like we witnessed 11 years our new Okay, again, Bolivia, Venezuela. Even then, issues like slavery were papered over only to erupt. Things don't erupt, and it was not papered over. If you read the counter-revolution of 1776, the entire thing was based on keeping the entire system was based, like the entire reason that the US seceded from Britain was based on wanting to keep your slaves. So no, this was not true. Like seriously, like there should be a limit on how much Obama officials should be able to lie about. I mean, like, I don't know why, but they somehow really drive me more nuts than anyone else. I don't know why. Like the Obama nuts are the absolute worst. Like, okay. Seriously, like the Obama officials are, I don't know, like the other day, Obama was like, had this really annoying tweet. Okay. Okay, let's see. And yet we seem to unable to appreciate that other societies will find the talent just as difficult, and even more so if the engine of change is a foreign army, and the foreign army is not the engine of change if it's like funding the same warlords like Gul Aga Sherzai, the other losers, what's his name, Dostum, Abdul Dostum, what else, and who like just all these like general scum. I mean, the warlord's failed son, the brother of the warlord, yeah, and things like that. So this is nonsense. Okay, I recall the comment attributed to a captured Taliban fighter from a number of years ago. You Americans have watches, but we have the time. Sadly, this proved accurate, and the Taliban outlasted our impatience. 20 years, that's not impatience, that is no, I mean, to call this impatience is really despicable. I mean, what they did outlast is your looting. You, I mean, yeah, they literally outlasted your looting. Um, uh, um, this is like the most scummiest thing I've ever seen. Um, Sadly, okay, and then after the Soviet defeat in Afghanistan at the hands of U.S. trained mujahideen in 1889, the training was facilitated by Pakistan. We decided we were done. No, you didn't. What are you talking about? This is like, this is really just a lie. Complete lie. Um, um, further reason why this is a complete and utter lie. Okay, let's look at the okay, the next paragraph gets even dumber. We could see the Afghan civil war coming. The only thing that was holding disparate Afghan groups together was a common enemy. By holding it together, we mean warlords who. Hold on. Okay. Yes. Exactly. He's right. Okay. But that was not our. No, that's not what happened. Literally, these warlords wanted a bigger share of the booty. Like they wanted to control all of Afghanistan so they could have a bigger fiefdom from which they can extract resources and live like kings. That wasn't so. Of course, they are they are going to be having turf wars. But that was not our problem. We were leaving. What do you mean you were what on earth? On the way out, we stopped helping Pakistan in a key way. This was okay. You are confusing a lot of years. We ended the security and economic assistance because of its nuclear weapons program, something we've exempted before. This was in 97. So you don't even have the timeline right. This is right. If you want to, I mean, terror, like seriously, the best way to fight terrorism is to not create terrorists like the US did with the Mujahideen. But on top of it, terrorism actually has a very strategic issue. Well, for example, when in Myanmar they blow up Chinese-owned factories, it's actually just not being able to compete in the free market, so they blow up their infrastructure. So this is totally true. Okay, this one, the next sentence is just so false. I don't know where to begin. Okay, so Pakistan So Pakistan, in its own narrative, went from being the most allied of allies to the most sanctioned adversaries. That's why Pakistan threw support to the Taliban when they started gaining ground in the 1990s. No, that's not why Pakistan started to throw support. So what happened was that Pakistan needed to get like Pakistan has a big trucking okay, it has a big trucking industry from so so what happened was that Pakistan. So let's look at this. So it has so there's Afghanistan's here, Pakistan's about here, Tajikistan's here, Uzbekistan's here, Turkmenistan's here, Iran's here, and a little bit of China and India. So the thing is that Pakistan had a big trucking industry that would take goods through Afghanistan to say Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, and the truckers just like were getting extorted, shot up, stolen with these warlords, and they were getting lots of bounty, like they had to pay millions of bounty, etc. And they were like, okay, one group at least will let our truckers pass. So actually, so what happened was that the people who are known back then as the Taliban back then started in Kandahar, and they started to just kind of clear up the literal highway robbers. So then Pakistan's like, oh, okay, at least these people are clearing up the highway robbers. Okay, so let's kind of help them so that we can at least like pass. And that's what happened. Yeah. There was no, so it could end a dangerous, yeah, I mean, that's also partially right, but whatever. Okay. And then the next paragraph is just delusional. That is why a decade later, after 9/11, Pakistan welcomed the return of the United States and U.S. assistance. I don't know what this welcoming nonsense is, because no one welcomes the United States. But it would work with us against Al Qaeda, but not very well. But we soon learned that the Taliban were a sticky matter. It was I was an ambassador to Pakistan from 2004 to 2007. So he was both an ambassador under Bush and Obama. That's skeezy. Okay. Okay, and then let's see what that's really skeezy, by the way. And why is okay, so what okay, so now let's yeah, I mean, I pushed the Pakistani officials repeatedly on the need to deny the Taliban safe havens, except for the fact that what he probably meant by Taliban were ethnic Pashtos. And you can't really tell ethnic Pashtos, hey, you can't visit your uncle, you can't visit your brother in Pakistan, because Pashtuns, Pathans, Pashtos, like they straddle multiple borders. There's some in India too. So you're like, So you can't tell ethnic Pashtos, oh, yeah, that's just really not. Okay. And the answer I got back went like this. We know you. We know you don't have patience for a long fight. We know the day will come when you just get tired and go home. It's what you do. But we aren't going nowhere. This is where we live. If you think we're going to turn the Taliban into a mortal enemy, you are completely crazy. He's right. By Taliban, of course, they mean ethnic Pashtos. Yes, China won the war on terror by having the economic development, the lots of things. By the way, an interesting fact is somehow a lot of these Uyghurs ended up in Bosnia in the 1990s. We don't know how. Okay. Wow, that's a long time. I had no idea. And oh, by the way, now they're doing this thing with this Balochistan separatist group. Yeah, like, and somehow the Balochistan Balochistan, like they were attacked, like they were attacking these Chinese engineers. Okay. Again, this is the next. Okay, so now he's again. Let's look at what happened. The Washington Post notes, as the Taliban swept across neighboring Afghanistan, some Pakistanis saw it as a reason to celebrate. Okay, once again, he's confusing Taliban with ethnic Pashtos. And what they don't understand is that, yeah, ethnic Pashtos were treated really badly under the US-backed puppet warlord government. So that's right. And in Islamabad, yeah, they're not exchanging any high fives because they have to deal with your bloody headache. And that's like really annoying to deal with. So Imran Khan was like, yeah, just like he just like said, you guys messed it up really badly. And yeah, and he's right. He did. I mean, okay, so the American disaster in Afghanistan that Mr. Biden's impatience brought about is not a disaster just for us. Yes, it's hell for everyone. It also has been a huge boost for the Taliban, whose narratives now is that the believers clad in the armors of one of the true faith have vanquished the infidels. He just made this up. I don't know who's saying this narrative because I haven't heard it from anyone. They were just like, okay, go away. You guys suck. Yeah, that's basically what. So he just like made it up. And this is like Orientalism and racism, just really at it. Okay. That is resonating around the world and certainly next door in Pakistan, where the TTP, the Pakistani government, which seeks to overthrow of their government, you have been leaving with resources. Oh God, I hate that. I wish I'm just gonna not look at Twitch messages because I don't have a moderator on Twitch, and yeah, how do I yeah, so I can't look at this nonsense. Okay. So the Pakistani Taliban are completely different, and there's like a lot of weird things going on there, which may involve what we call cordial interstellar Afghans. And exactly. So that's just really, he's really getting all these things totally confused. Not confused, but obfuscating it. And has certainly been emboldened as the Kashmiri militant groups created by Pakistan, but that have threatened Pakistan itself as well as India. Mr. Biden's strategic impatience has been a huge boost to militant Islam everywhere. What are you talking about? The hugest boost is when Ronald Reagan funded them and gave them like billions of dollars of weapons to do God knows what. By the way, there's also the cable from the British government under Thatcher, where they're like, actually, these are just like feudal warlords who like their slaves have and who like having their slaves, but we're gonna pretend we're just going to pretend that they're Islam, because at least if they're fighting for Islam and they were fakely oppressed, we can at least get some militants like Osama bin Laden and stuff to fight. Okay, next paragraph. We need to be engaged with Pakistan on ways to access and deal with this enhanced threat. Except you're not going to be engaged because Imran Khan won't let you. The prime minister won't let you because he made a deal with China, and the entire deal with China is to keep you far away. The prospect of a violent destabilization of a country with 210 million and nuclear weapons is not a pretty one. And the only one who will violently destabilize it is you, the US government, by supporting the Balochistani terrorists or whatever your other random groups with your Cold War with China. The same is true in Iran. It's always good to see the great Satan take a kick in its face, and it's worth a little gloating. But the Islamic Republic and the Taliban almost went to war in 1998. Correct. The Taliban killed some Iranian diplomats, but because Iran does not have a psychotic government, they were able to actually because they're like, so they're actually like acted like grown-ups, and they're like, okay, we can't do this. So it's true, but it helps having grown-ups in the room for this. Okay, so okay, so now let's continue. It was not only the current president showing impatience. President Donald Trump announced a peace talks that would convene in Qatar between the United States and the Taliban. But those took place without the Afghan government because Ghani was actually sabotaging these talks. So in a way, they're right, but not in the way not in any reasonable any way that any grown-up will think that they're right. So yeah, let's see. Okay. And the next paragraph kind of proves that the previous paragraph is a total lie. I love it when they do that. Okay. We had caved on a long-standing Taliban condition. We therefore delegitimized the government we had pledged to support. But apparently they did not do that because the government representatives were in the room. So this previous paragraph is 100% of a lie. But the talks went nowhere because you have warlords in the government totally destabilizing it. As a painful process unfolded, we added insult to injury, forcing Kabul to release 5,000 Taliban prisoners. And these weren't exactly Taliban prisoners. These were basically, who were they? Warlords. No. These were random Pashtos people that sometimes, like, half of them were just like random people. Okay, so let us continue. Okay, so then, I mean, they a lot of times when they said Taliban prisoners, they were literally ethnic Pashto. Sometimes it was because some random warlord wanted their farmland so they could grow opium on it. I mean, it was, okay. Let's continue. That didn't matter to Mr. Trump. He was done with patience. He just wanted out, whatever the consequences. He reached an agreement with the Taliban for complete withdrawal, and he left office before he could execute it. Okay. Okay, that's right. But that's the thing about having agreements, is that if you like international agreements, is that you have to have a stable enough government that when after elections and the party loses or whatever, you still execute those agreements, kind of. Otherwise, no one's going to have an international agreement with you. Enter Mr. Biden. To my shock, he embraced. To your shock, come on. We have betrayed our promises to interpreters. 88,000 interpreters. Okay, whatever. Women and children, what promises? And others who are trapped in an Afghanistan controlled by the Taliban. They're not trapped. The Taliban said that they will let anyone go. If whoever wants to leave can leave. So that's like a total lie. I mean, yes, exactly, a total lie. I fear many will lose their lives because of Biden's impatience. Nothing stopped them from evacuating them like 6 months ago. I mean, like, why did you not evacuate them 6 months ago if you really cared about it? Like, why wait till now? Because this is nonsense that they just made. What you have to realize is everything the U.S. government tells you is like the biggest lie on earth. None of this is like, everything is like, how they accuse like Russia of like weaponizing jokes or something like that. It's actually the U.S. government that thinks like that. Like, no one else in the world thinks like that. This is okay. So now let's continue. It did not have to be this way. Right. When I left Afghanistan as an ambassador in 2012, we had 85,000 troops in the country. The Taliban controlled none of Afghanistan's. Okay, this is really funny. Let's again. There's a catch here. Let me show you what the catch is. Okay. This is like the stupidest thing ever. Okay. Yeah, this is like the like literally the stupid. I mean, like, they must think that like we're 5-year-old idiots or something like that. Okay, let's try it again. Okay. The Taliban controlled none of Afghanistan's 34 provincial capitals. So they did not control the capital cities in the provinces. They totally controlled every other part of the provinces, all the places except for the capital. So this is like when Hillary is like affordable access to healthcare. I don't know what soccer, football, or American football. No, maybe somebody else can. I have no idea what this means. Okay. Yeah, so that's right. They did not control the capital cities because they did that on purpose, because majority of the population live in rural areas, and often they were controlling the rural areas as early as like really early on. So technically he's right, but this is like I hate it when they do that. Okay, and it gets more and more comical as we go on. When the President Barack Obama left the office, there were There were fewer than 5,000 troops, and the Taliban did not hold any major urban areas. This is like when Hillary's like affordable access to universal healthcare. Yes, they did not hold any major urban areas, but that is not the point, because they held all the rural areas. And if you look at Afghanistan's population, is that 70% of the population is 76% of the population is in urban areas, and rural areas, and only 24% of the population are in urban areas. So this is a completely misleading if you want to be nice to him, and if you don't want to be nice to him, it's just a total lie. I mean, yeah, you're right. The Taliban did not yeah, I mean, yeah, it's like, right? So let's look at this again. And in this statistic, Kuchi is about it's like migrant workers. So let's continue. See? So distribution of people. Look at the orange. Rural area, lots of people. Urban area, little people. So this is itself is misleading. Okay. The next part, he accidentally does end up telling the truth. I love it when they accidentally tell the truth. Okay, so Mr. Biden's decision to withdraw all U.S. forces destroyed an affordable status quo that could have lasted indefinitely at a minimum cost in blood and treasure. 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 Yes. Okay. Yeah. So, and of course, we know all the treasures is all like Afghanistan has a lot of lithium and whatnot. So yeah. Now let's continue. Even with a managed withdrawal, we might have even with the full withdrawal, we might have managed steps that would protect our interests. Like your lithium. We'll just go ahead and say, like, oh my god, we're sad that we can't drill for lithium anymore. I mean, seriously, treasure lithium. I mean, come on, don't be a turd sandwich here. Like, I mean, what is this our interest? I mean, okay, and yeah, this is just pathetic. Okay. Okay. Now the Taliban hold all the cards. They will determine whether evacuations through Kabul. No, they don't, because you are the one who's shooting. And whatever happens next, the image of this American capitulation is already etched indelibly in the world's imagination. Okay. And it is that the U.S. Air Force C-17 taxiing from takeoff from Kabul, surrounded by a what? Okay, so you should have like I said, nothing stopped you from evacuating your collaborators 6 months ago, but you didn't. And of course, you have to invoke 9/11 for this. Hi. Let me figure out how to say hello in Serbia. Let's see. Zdravo. Zdravo. Did I get it? Thank you. I will make one of you guys. Okay, hold on. Correct. Money talks. Yes. Okay. I'll come on and moderate. I'd love to. Let me see what I can do. Okay. Okay. So, yeah, I need to maybe indie, like whoever's indie left or somebody could maybe come on. I need somebody to be a monitor, like a not a monitor, a moderator on the chat so that I can kick people out. Who are we kicking out? We're how do we? I don't. How do I mute somebody on? Okay. How do I mute somebody? Okay, I'll just block for now. Okay. Anyone else? Let me know if you want me to block anyone else. I'm there. I blocked Darth Notes. Okay. How do I mute somebody? Somebody needs to teach me how to mute somebody on Twitch. Somebody on Twitch. Okay. I just banned them. Okay, perfect. Who can I make a moderator? Anyone I can trust? Anyone I know? Okay. I'll make Indie Left News into a moderator. How do I make Okay, I just made Indie Left News into a mod. Okay, so Indie Left News, you're the mod now, and I've added you as a friend too. So go for it. Okay. Okay. I don't know the article. Okay. Okay, perfect. Okay, so as you can see, this is one of the worst regime change. I mean, worst like propaganda. Okay, so let me see. Do we have other propaganda? Let's see. Will democracy? Oh, by the way, it's really funny. Oh, okay. I see. There are. Let's see. Is there any other democracy killing in dark? Oh, democracy must be. Let's see. Let's see. Mm, there's a lot. Oh God. I don't. Oh my God. This is awful. I can't do. Uh Okay, the Washington Post has this has the same stupid editorial by somebody, another neocon. Okay, it says forever wars versus hasty retreat, blah blah blah. Okay, okay, so no worries. Thank you so much. I don't know. Not 9/11. We're doing just Afghanistan withdrawal propaganda. So now let's do stupid what can we do? Oh yeah, there's I don't know where to start. Let's just start with uh MSNBC because it's as good of I think it's MSNBC, but I could be wrong. I'll just pick a random place, like a random video clip I've collected, so that we can debunk some other really stupid propaganda. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stupid. Let's see. Okay, okay. Let's start with this one. I mean, there's so much. I don't know where to begin. Let's see. Let's pick one person that irritates us the most. Okay. Let's see if this is. These are anxious times for women in Afghanistan. Okay. Okay. Let's. Oh God. Okay. Let's see. There has to be. Give me one more second. Okay. We'll see. Whew, how is everyone? Oh yeah. Okay. Somebody asked a question. Mass casualty. Let me answer your question. Okay. So Umbrella Saleh, where is mass casualties question? I need to find it. I can't find it. Can you type it? Okay. Yep. Found it. Okay. So this is really interesting. So Umbrella Saleh was the vice president. He was also a CIA agent. In the summer of 2001, he was in. He was in Frankfurt, Germany, in the summer of 2001, according to. According to okay, found it. Okay, now let's see if I can share it. Can you see this? Let's see. Yes, you can. Okay. Umbrella Saleh flew to Frankfurt, Germany. And remember, there was this whole German terrorist cell to meet a man he knew as Phil. Saleh handled the intelligence liaisons. Okay, so the really interesting thing is that when the Taliban came to power, the Tajik warlords, like Saleh's, like Ahmad Shah Massoud, and all those people, they were marginalized to like a small area near like the north, and so they couldn't collect the booty and the stuff like that. But after 9/11, everything changed. Ahmed Zia Massoud later became the vice president, and they got their own little territory, and they're considered rock collect. Like the joke amongst people in Afghanistan is they call them rock collectors, as in not rocks, but like lithium and stuff like that. So it's very interesting. It's very interesting because the people who gained the most from 9/11 was definitely the warlords from the Northern Alliance, and that's yeah, it's very interesting is all I have to say. Well, yeah, there is no paradox. There's just the plan worked, and they don't really care. Like, and American people are not smart enough to like tell the difference. Yeah, so that was it. I will later do more regime change propaganda. Please. Yep. Okay, so with that, I'm going to say I have to go now. I'm going to write articles about all the random atrocities and debunking more propaganda. If you can, I know, I can make a form or some. Oh, I know, I'll make a form and I'll tweet it out. So if there's an MSNBC video that has really stupid propaganda or something like that, absolutely just to fill out the form so that I can get it, and I'll try to do another roundup. Please hit like, subscribe, and go to historically.substack.com and subscribe. We really need this money, so please go to historically.substack.com and become a paid subscriber. And you'll get lots of benefits, which we will do, and hopefully I can even start paywalling stuff so that you can have exclusive member only content. So with that, I'm going to say Smrti fascismo, slobodu narodu. I'm still practicing.